Have you ever pursued a big dream? Have you reached it only to get it taken away from you? That's what happened to me. For over a decade, I poured my heart and soul into becoming a big shot movie director and screenwriter in Hollywood. And just when I was achieving it, everything came crashing down. And that left me questioning everything I knew about success, happiness, who I was, my identity. So in this video, I'm going to share my journey from chasing this external validation of Hollywood and career as a writer and director and into redefining success on my own terms. And it's a story of hard lessons and tough choices and the courage to start over from scratch. So if you ever found yourself at this kind of crossroads or situation, like questioning what really matters in life, what you really want to do with your life, what's important, this video is for you. So let's get into it. I grew up in the US, on the East Coast, New York City, Philadelphia, and I had a dream of becoming a Hollywood filmmaker, a screenwriter, director. Always loved movies since I was a kid and just loved to use my imagination and create fictional stories and worlds and characters. And so I moved to Los Angeles to pursue this dream and worked hard for over a decade. Was constantly writing scripts, trying to get projects off the ground. They would get somewhere, the scripts would get somewhere. Someone would be interested, producer, executive, etc. And they would try to package it in some way, get an actor attached, get someone, a producer involved, director, etc. But nothing would pan out. It wouldn't go anywhere. So eventually I decided to stop trying to get something made in the Hollywood studio system and to make an independent movie myself. And so I wrote a script, raised the money, produced the movie, and directed the movie independently. And it was a comedy, and it won some awards, Best Comedy Movie in the New York City Independent Film Festival and a couple other festivals, and then got released on Amazon Prime and Apple TV in 2019. And it wasn't any kind of smash hit or anything, but it was out on Amazon and Apple, and over 300,000 people have watched it at this point on Amazon. And so it basically a producer got interested in me because of this, and he brought me on to rewrite a script that he had optioned and direct the movie. And that was set to shoot in 2020. It was going to be a bigger movie than my first movie, bigger budget, bigger name actors. It was a big deal, and it was for me. And it was like, been working so hard for so many years, and I'm just the dream is happening. I made my first movie, and I'm about to make my second movie. It's going to be bigger, so things are happening as they're supposed to when you're achieving that dream. Of course, you probably already guessed what's going to happen because of the year mentioned, 2020. Pandemic hits, COVID hits, and shuts down the whole film industry, shuts down my movie. It gets like everything at the beginning of the pandemic just got postponed. But eventually I could see the project was not going to come back. It was done. And so was the whole film industry. I could see that it was not coming back in the same way. And it hasn't, if you've been following it. So I had been pursuing this dream for so long that my entire identity and self-worth was tied up in this Hollywood dream of being a writer and director. That's who I was becoming. That's what I was working towards. That was what would give me happiness and success and validation. And that's what I was living for. And so once that was gone, or that dream ended, I felt lost. I had an identity crisis. Like, who was I without that? Who was I without being a Hollywood filmmaker? And so what's the purpose of doing anything? What's my life about? What's the point of living, right? And sunk into a deep depression for about a year. And And then I was also approaching the age of 40. My birthday is in April. I was born in 1982. So 2022, I was going to turn 40 in the spring. And obviously 40 is a big age and it kind of signals getting old, or it has historically, right? And in the US, at least there's just a lot of expectations. By the time you reach 40, you've achieved your certain level of success in your career. You have a wife, kids, house, all that sort of American dream stuff. And that's what it means to be successful at 40. And I didn't have any of that as I was approaching 40. And I also realized that I'm chasing other people's definition of success. Everything I just laid out, that is American dream, that's someone else's definition. I didn't make that up, or I realized that I didn't really want that. But I didn't really know what I wanted, because I've been chasing one thing. I've been chasing what Hollywood and the US and the culture, everything says is successful. But without that, I didn't know what my definition of success was. I just knew that wasn't it. Well, that was someone else's definition. And so I decided I had to leave, and not just leave Hollywood, not just leave Los Angeles, but leave the US. Because, like I was just saying, that whole definition of success is pervasive in the whole country. So I can't really get away from that. And being surrounded by that, how am I going to come up with my own definition of success? Because it's just too much input of that message. I took a leap of faith and bought a one-way ticket to Bali. Had never been here before, never even been on this side of the world before, never been to Asia, never been to Australia. But I was like, I got to get out of this culture. So I got to get out of the West, basically, because beyond the US, there's the whole Western culture. So I bought a one-way ticket to Bali, left everything behind, sold my car and basically all my stuff, and bought a one-way ticket, brought just a big backpack with stuff. So not a bunch of stuff. And when I got to Bali, it was a different culture, what I was looking for, but that didn't make it easy. It was an upside down world based on where I grew up in big cities in the US. I spent all my life living in New York City, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. So Bali compared to that, totally upside down world. The people, the weather, the bugs, the animals, right? This is a jungle. I didn't realize. I know it was an island. I was picturing kind of a tropical island, like a Caribbean island, but it's a jungle island. There's the jungle. And that's, yeah, totally different. Wild place. Awesome, but took a lot of adjusting. So anyway, when I'm in Bali now, so I arrived in spring 2022, May 2022, newly 40, and started to do this searching now of what really matters to me, what's important, what I want to do with my life now that I'm like 40 and starting over. I started to perform in a small little, you could barely call it a theater. It's like a room with a little stage on the second floor of a restaurant here in Bali. Just started to do comedy improv and some stand-up comedy and a one-man show that was a combination of stand-up comedy, long-form storytelling, and theater, because I was playing different characters. And there was no money in it, and there was no chance of it leading to anything in terms of money or career, because I'm not getting discovered by any kind of talent scout or anyone like that from a film industry or anything like that. It was just for the sake of performing and for an audience. And I've gotten a lot out of doing that, both from being able to actually put out some sort of creative work and seeing people respond to it in real time, which didn't happen when I made a movie and didn't happen. I make stuff for the internet. You don't see the effect in real time of your work. And so that really had an impact on me, and just started realizing that what I've been chasing was really fame, money, external validation. And what I really want to do and love doing is telling stories that move people, right, that have an impact on me. Move them to laughter. I do a lot of comedy. Move them to tears, move them to deeper feeling, make them think, about things in a different way. And really to express, myself, what I want to express in my thoughts and feelings about the world and my experiences, versus I'd spent many years writing scripts that I thought that Hollywood would make and would be commercial, and they were fitting into these styles of movies that they make, basically. So you're seeing what they make, what's coming out of Hollywood. So I was like writing stuff on that level, but it wasn't super personal to me. It wasn't super unique. And so the point is that giving value to other people, because I also started teaching some classes and workshops here, both in the comedy side, but also helping people to get through their creative blocks and create their best work of any kind, art, businesses, etc. And giving value to other people, expressing myself authentically and what I express, and having an impact on an audience, this is starting to feel more like success to me. It still doesn't, it's not necessarily like the traditional definition of success, which basically has to do with money. And so far, I'm not making money doing what I'm describing. And I haven't quite, I'm still figuring it out. This is a journey that's happening in real time. I haven't reached the mountaintop, and I'm reporting back to you in the journey right now. And I'm figuring it out. But a big part is redefining success, because what am I pursuing? What am I trying to achieve? And how do I define when I get there? And part of it is also that there is no there. What am I even saying? There is no mountaintop, right? It's just, you get to the mountaintop and then behind it, there's a much bigger mountain, right? In other words, life is a series of projects and challenges and wins and losses, but no matter how much you win, there's another mountain right behind it. Focus now on projects, creative projects, business projects, and helping others create their business projects, their creative projects, and seeing and just focusing on adding value, helping other people, and feeling fulfilled, because that is fulfilling, and I don't know, finding that. But this is still a big experiment about exactly how I'm going to live my life, how I'm going to make money, and how I'm going to bring my creative projects to life, because those can take money depending on what they are, right? Just to wrap this up, this has not been easy, this journey over the last few years that I've just been covered in this video, but it had to happen. And if you're someone that maybe has been pursuing one definition of success for a long time, and you're not finding it fulfilling, and you're not enjoying it, and you're questioning it, and maybe you've even reached some level of success and it didn't give you the happiness that you thought it would, or you are still telling, wherever level you're at, you're still telling yourself that achieving some higher level of success than you have now is going to bring you happiness. And I got news for you. It might bring you some temporary pleasure and joy, but it's unlikely to remain and keep you fulfilled and happy. I would encourage you to question the definition of success that you're currently pursuing, and perhaps start to think about what else you could do that would matter more to you, that would be more fulfilling, that would be more meaningful, that would have a bigger impact on other people's lives. And when you have a bigger impact on other people's lives, you feel meaning, you feel value. That is the definition of value, and being valuable is benefiting other people's lives. And we did evolve in tribes where if we didn't add value, we would get left out in the jungle or the forest and die. So our need to feel valuable is tied to our survival, which means it's tied to being happy, because your brain makes you feel happier when you are doing things that will benefit your survival. We are hardwired to feel good when we add value to other people's lives. I would encourage you to start doing that in some way, and don't be shackled by this definition of success that was probably imposed on you by someone else or the culture, the media, etc. That's it for this video. I'm going to be recording these every day, and I'm going to be diving deeper into the lessons that I've been learning along this journey, and also what I'm doing now, my new pursuits, and I want you to come along for the ride. So tune in tomorrow for the next video. Thanks for watching.